So one of the first things a mechanic should think about when he's approaching the steering box, there's a lot of mechanics or technicians to install a steering box. They should be able to look at a steering box and just visualize how to center it. So the best way of doing that, Trev, if we're looking at the steering box and we draw an imaginary line the same way the lettering is going, so that is a line, and if we kind of look at it, that line is really the input shaft coming across the steering box, right? Okay. The output shaft, now this is a HD94 series Shepard steering box. The timing mark on it, which is right here, I'm going to zoom into that, should be timed up to that horizontal line going across. I'll use the Spicer ruler just as an example. At a 90 degree. Right now, it's not a 90 degree. Okay? So if you want to take a look at that, you can take a look at that, Trev, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You see how it's not quite 90 degrees?
I do.
So that's not in center. So just by tweaking it at the steering wheel, believe it or not, that is the equivalent of about 3/4 of your steering wheel turn right there.
Wow.
Okay, so again, just to quickly look at it, I've got my lettering. Okay, another way to think about it is the input shaft is going right through the steering gear. Okay, the output shaft timing mark, again, this timing mark is used for the pitman arm that mounts to it, but you also use this timing mark to center the steering gear to itself. Okay, so looking at it, that's probably exactly where I'd want it to be. So no matter how this thing sits on a frame rail, I can look at it, visualize it to this concept, and that's in center. The same thing applies over here. So this is a TRW box. This is a particular, looks like a THP. Okay. And we'll verify that by looking at the back. Yeah, it's a THP model. And there's a cast THP 60 right there. Now this particular model here, what TRW did is they actually put a little notch right here at the steering box, and that notch is a timing notch that you can line up your timing mark on your output shaft too. If you want to do an over the top shot, take a look at it. So these two notches here line up to tell you that your steering gear is in perfect center. Now, a lot of times when you have a pitman arm that's mounted on this shaft, you can't see this timing notch. So again, the same concept that you'd use on the TRW box, you can imagine the line going through the steering gear, which is your pitman arm, which is your worm, or the wording, okay? And then your output shaft timing mark should be 90 degree to it. And that'll tell you that no matter how this box sits on the frame, you can visualize that this box is in center. And the mentality there is that if this steering gear is in center, or the other one's in center, no matter what you have on your truck, then with this in center, your wheels should be pointing straight ahead down the road. So your wheels are in center, your steering box is in center. You start there, your rest of your installation should be very simplified.